got one question for you. Are you ready?
Hey, what is going on, everybody? We have Age of Fable. Well, we have Caitlin right now. We don't.
Yeah.
I think actually in the transition of coming back in, they dropped out.
Did you kick them
There
off?
they are. They're right there. I don't think I kicked them off, but I think
No,
they're back.
My computer decided to do a random software update in the middle of this.
Oh no!
Love when that happens.
And I don't know how to make this bigger. Oh, no, whatever. You're gonna get what you get.
There you go.
There you go. That works just fine. There you go.
You can hear us though, right? You can see
we can perfectly well, actually. Right. So we have Age of Fable. What an amazing name and what an amazing band. I cannot wait to talk with you guys about your music. How are you guys doing? How is they're hailing out of Wisconsin, right?
Well, it's not freezing here, so I'm living the dream.
Hot.
Yeah, it's actually
all over. I think.
Yeah,
everywhere is hot.
It's unseasonably warm, but yeah,
it's been beautiful. I don't know about the rest of you. This is my kind of heat.
Like what is the top temperature right now there?
It is
77. In the 90s.
In the 90s,
yeah, but
still
it's
really
been
hot.
In the 90s.
Yeah, it was in the night. Today was like 80 to 85, but currently it is 77 degrees.
Humid too. That's the whole problem there. There's that humidity factor that just makes it sticky and gross.
Yeah. So we're at the extremes. It's either like -20 or just crazy hot. So
we're jumping them back in. I don't know what's
like 90s here in Florida. I never wish for a winter so much here.
Yeah, last week it was crazy hot, and this week it's like pretty. It's pretty good. So
that's good. That's good. That's good to hear. So, James, how are you doing, buddy? How are you doing?
Good. I'm actually a little bit well rested from the other day. We had an auction the other day on Sunday, and it was crazy. Less than 4 hours, and I was definitely tired, but I got everything done and situated, and it was great.
Yeah, that was a marathon of an auction, but it did go to a worthy cause to Mr. Raising the Roof. We were raising the roof for the chef, so definitely a good charity. And I think we had some good giveaways. The guitar I want though did go away to another person, so it is what it is. So let us move on, and you know what? It's our favorite time, and it's called the food time.
It's the food time.
So we're going to talk some desserts here for a second. What did everybody bring in for desserts? We're out of Wisconsin, so I'm expecting some sort of like ice cream, some cheese, something. Let's see what we got.
Yeah. Do we have, other than like cheesecake, do we really have like cheese-based desserts here?
I mean, there's like Danishes. I don't know. Or, yeah.
Fair. I've seen a lot of people put slices of cheese on their apple pie. Is that a thing anywhere else?
No.
It is. I've seen a lot of people do that. Like, so maybe it is a Wisconsin thing where they'll put a slice of cheese on their apple pie and then microwave it to like melt it on top. People say it's amazing.
Very interesting. I've never.
Yeah. So I've never tried it, but I've definitely I worked in a restaurant for like 10 years, and I had way too many people ask me to do that. So
that's disgusting.
I have to look that
you
up
can
after.
Stop that nonsense right now.
Now I have to look that up after the stream.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I just pictured like somebody just melting like some American cheese, like
yes, yeah, legitimately. It's not like fancy cheese. It's nothing special. We just took a slice of cheese and slapped. I don't know.
Yeah, but cheese on everything.
Maybe they wanted the salt from the cheese.
Yeah,
that's still weird.
Maybe.
Put cheese on everything.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got. What do we got though? What do we got?
Melanie, what do you got?
She's super excited about this.
Because I just think they're beautiful, but it's a, I can't remember the it's a, hold on. It's a fruit tart.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
love them. I think they're pretty.
Where did
And
you
they
get
taste
that
good.
from?
So, sorry I didn't bring anything like super cheesy and Wisconsin-y, but.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
The grocery store.
Yeah.
Which one?
Pick and Save.
Pick and Save, yeah.
Okay.
But
I picked
you
and
don't
I
really,
saved.
you don't really save much at Pick and Save. They're the most expensive.
Chris,
I like fruit tarts. They're beautiful.
Good job. Good job. What is the fruit that is in these?
Well, you can have different fruit. Like sometimes I see kiwis or strawberries, but this one has raspberries, blueberries,
What's that?
snozberries,
Snozberries.
I mean,
Throwing a little. I know the reference to that
Blackberry.
one.
It's a blackberry, and then there's yogurt in there.
or it's
I
like a
think it's
custard.
yogurt. Is it
Yeah, I was
custard?
thinking a pie crust.
Yum.
Show them yours.
Oh, okay. So
No. Andy knows about that one.
So Melanie
Andy knows about it.
says to me, Melanie goes, what did you say?
I was like, oh, I'm a vegan.
I'm not
and
falling
I
for
eat
that trick again.
bananas.
No, because I couldn't think of anything else.
Did he bring a banana?
Yeah.
He legit brought a banana.
That is awesome.
You have
Yes,
something in
another
common with-
man.
You did have something
Another
in common with this guy right here because he did bring a banana one time on the show.
I did.
Yes.
Indeed.
See, I'm not the only one.
I said, hey, I have an ingredient.
He brought a banana.
Chris recently went vegan. It's funny because we're in Wisconsin, but I'm a vegetarian. He's a vegan, so we're oddballs here. And he brought a banana, and I was like, oh, you brought a banana, and in your free time you go and like hang out with bees in your hive and do all this.
I nurture
stuff.
bees
Yeah.
to life. I give them little CPR.
I don't know. I was thinking of what someone who would bring a banana to a dessert event would be like.
We've done it. This guy right here, and then guess who else did it? So my dad's a composer, and my dad did it.
His dad
He did the same thing.
Hey,
Just
they
like,
should
hey,
meet.
there's some random fruit in my there's some random fruit in my house. That sounds like a great dessert.
Yeah,
And
you know,
then
it
the same
kind of
banana.
was. It kind
It
of
is.
worked out nicely.
It is, and it's still a dessert. I eat it for a dessert. I don't eat it for like any other reason. It's a dessert. It's like after you get done eating, I think I'll have a banana. Okay, Caitlin, what do we got? The bass player's got something
So,
good, I know.
I went with a legit dessert, unlike Chris. So Little Debbie has started making ice cream out of their desserts.
That's disgusting.
So I went crazy this weekend and I bought 7 of the 8 flavors. So there's like honey bun, oatmeal cream pie, cosmic brownies, like nutty bars, all of that, like cigar punch bars, all of that stuff.
Wow.
So,
Are they actually any good though?
Yeah. Yes. So tonight I'm having the cosmic brownie one. So
Ooh,
I'm
yum,
all
yum.
about it.
I'm all about that dessert. I'm just going to live vicariously through you because I am on a diet, guys. I am on a diet.
The Nutty Buddy would speak to me out of all those.
Oh, yes. That Nutty Buddy or honey buns. I grew up on honey buns. So
Yeah, I'm curious about how the honey bun one is going to be.
yeah, that's an interesting one because you almost like, is it going to be like flakes of the honey bun that's in the
Right.
ice cream? Yeah, I would assume that might be good if you can do something like that.
Yeah,
But,
I'm curious about that one.
See, when I was a
think
kid, we did
butter
every morning. I'd get these frozen honey buns, and you would microwave them in the microwave for like half a minute, and then you'd have this golden, yummy honey bun. Oh, to die for! I don't even think they sell them like that. I don't know where I think it was on Air Force bases. We got it at the commissary, but nowadays they just sell them in those little packets, and they're not like frozen, and you can just go eat. Oh, so good. Anyway. So that is amazing. Everybody, go check. I want to hear what other people have to say. So in the comments, if you are watching this, let me know if you've actually tried one of these. I would love to hear about it. See if what you guys think of the Little Debbie ice creams. Sounds amazing. Sounds absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you haven't had a banana by this point in life, you must be allergic to them.
I was gonna say, well, either that or the fruit tart. So if you've had a banana, we pretty much know that you're alive. You've had a banana, but fruit
potassium.
Tart. Yes, potassium is really good, actually. Fruit tart, though, however, I want to hear if anybody else has had a fruit tart, and if they had any snozberries. Yes, snozberries.
Oh, you love
snoz.
Yeah.
Fruit tarts are hardcore.
They really are.
Yes.
They sound good. They do sound good. And I like fruit, so I'm a big fruit fan. So I'm going to show you one of the... I'm just going to say this is one of... I'm eating them. I'm eating them because they are keto. I'm not really on a keto, but they have protein. And it is because we have some Wisconsin folks on. I got cheese wisps. These are really nasty. These are really gross.
Are they really? I've always I see them and I'm like, I should really try those and stop eating a pint of ice cream every day. But now
no, they're like, these are Parmesan. Maybe, I mean, I'm eating them, but I don't think they're my favorite. It's like, so it's like we're trying to substitute something that you like. That's the whole problem with this mentality here. Yeah. I'm trying to substitute potato chips for something that you love and you want to eat for something that is healthy. I don't mind actually the popcorn ones. They do these popcorn chips that are fairly good, and they have flavoring on them like you do.
Those, I think I've tried those before. Yeah,
they're okay. This is a pass for me. If I was to go in the store again and somebody was to say, "Hey, why don't we buy more of those wisps?" I'd say no, declined. I would try to go do some other. I mean, I'm interested in something that's healthy. I mean, it has some protein in it, which is in fat. So, but it is just cheese. It's just some sort of cheese stuff. And
it sounds like we need to send you some cheese curds ASAP.
Yeah, right?
Yes. Yes, especially from Wisconsin.
Where do you hail from then?
I am in Phoenix, Arizona. So the land of hot.
Yeah.
But,
cheese curds.
I do need cheese curds. You know.
Cows.
Cheese curds.
Yeah, we have cows. We do have cows.
Oh, you do?
We do. Actually, cattle is a huge industry in Arizona. But and I sit actually we sit next to a dairy. But it just goes to milk out here for the most part, or queso. Queso Mexican cheese.
What do your cows produce? Queso.
Queso, yeah. So it's just they speak Mexican.
Ellie said that she makes butterscotch chip with potato chip cookies.
Oh, Ellie, come on down.
Blue in Spanish.
I don't know. Let's look it up. Wait, I can't. My phone.
I do love having potato chips in my cookies. It's delicious.
Yeah. They do
what is wrong with you?
We never knew this about you, Caitlin. We are learning so much about our bases.
Cheese on pie, potato chips, ice cream.
Little Debbie ice cream now.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, that all of you guys have brought amazing desserts. I brought not a very amazing dessert, but I'm eating them still because they are keto and they do have protein, and it's a good snack after my workouts that I'm doing. Going to the gym lots of times a day, lots of times a week. So this is really hopefully going to help me with losing weight and stuff. But as we always know, we bow down to the master, the master chef.
I actually did a strawberry shortcake. So.
Ooh.
Strawberry shake cake, and this is
shortcake.
You know, it kind of sucks that our drummer couldn't make it because he's a full-time professional chef.
Nice.
Oh, they would have had a bake-off right there because that's what. That's why he is the metal chef.
It doesn't show really well in the green screen because the plate is green itself, so you can kind of see through it.
Oh, look at that! It's a floating cake.
You just have a floating screen.
It's a floating cake.
So as always, what is the ingredients and what was the prep on
these
this?
ones? I really just kept it basic. These are just stuff that store-bought stuff that you can kind of get anywhere. The strawberry sauce. I cut that up about 3 cups of strawberries to about 1.5 cups of sugar, or less, probably a cup of sugar maybe. Mix it up, let it kind of sit, kind of develops that little sauce, and and then really I just took some pie crust, cut it up into bake that off into like little rings, whatever, and kind of just put that on top of the little shortcake. And really some whipped cream topped. I mean, it's really just, I kept it kind of basic today. It was kind of Russian, so kept
Well,
it
that's the cool. But that's the cool thing, right? Because I want everybody to know how easy some of this stuff is to cook. You don't have to be a professional chef to go and make something cool.
It's so good. I love strawberry shortcake.
So good, especially during the summer.
Yeah.
Do you guys in Wisconsin, do they have the pick your own strawberry places?
Oh yeah.
Oh, those are the best.
Yeah,
Those are the best. Here is my motto behind pick your own strawberries. It's one for the bin, one for my mouth. One for the bin, one for my mouth. And then after a while, my dad catches on that I've been eating like half the strawberries, and then I'm sick. But then notoriously, I'm sick on the way home. Like, hey, how many strawberries did you eat, Andy? I don't feel very good, Dad. I don't want any more strawberries.
We do like in the fall, like apple orchards are really big. So we do like there's huge apple orchards where you go and you pick your own, and they've got like apple cider donuts and they make pies and stuff. And I prefer the apple orchards where I can go get all that stuff and like make apple dumplings and yum.
Supposedly, and G is in the house, so he probably knows more about this as well.
Oh,
there's a place south of Tucson, which is in Arizona, called Wilcox, and they have a apple festival every year. And me and the other half, my wife, I've been talking about going to this. I don't know if G's ever been there, but I would love to, just like, because we want to do that kind of stuff. The apple pies. I don't know what kind of apples they do here, but apple pie is so good. It's like my favorite pie. Totally my favorite pie. I agree with you. I can't imagine. So I used to live in England, and we had some apple, like those cooking apples. They're really tart, but they are the best baking apples ever. You just put a little bit of sugar and a little bit of brown sugar with it, and cinnamon or whatever. It's so good. Oh.
And then you can put cheese on top of your apple pie.
No.
No. We also have cherry picking, which is really good.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Feel like getting sick on.
Chris ate his whole banana.
He did.
What was I saying?
Oh,
we have like the cranberry bogs too.
Oh, yeah, we've got cranberry bogs. Yeah. But you can't pick those. You could just watch the trucks take the cranberries out.
That is so cool. I love the fact that you guys live in places where there's stuff that grows like that. I mean, in Arizona, you have to like, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not, there's no cactuses. And I mean, like, there's things like what Gary's talking about. He's talking about a local farm here, and they have to do a lot of water, to be able to create these things. So there's a place that's like just southeast of here called Schnepp's Farm. And it's like a family farm, and they do like a corn maze, and they have some stuff like that where they have orchards and stuff. But it's like a lot of water, and it's like it's one of those things where this is in Arizona. We live in the desert, right?
Yeah.
So Gary did catch on, and he caught up. He says cheese does not go on pie.
But Ellie just said we sold tons of apple pie with cheddar cheese on top.
Oh, she just said that. Yes, Ellie, she knows.
Ellie gets it. Ellie gets it.
How do we see this chat? I don't think we. Hold on.
Oh,
it's on YouTube. Yeah, it's on the YouTubes.
All right.
Do you guys see the chats? Do you guys see the chats now? Okay, good.
Well, if it comes up, we'll just highlight it or whatever.
Yeah, we'll try to highlight it. Yeah.
I just think Ellie and I became best friends because she proved me
right.
There
you go.
Ellie,
you were wrong, Caitlin.
We just said it is wrong.
I never really heard cheese on pie. I've never tried it.
And BGG Grooming, thanks for coming on in, buddy. I will tell you this, that apple pie is my favorite, but here's what I want to know from you guys. So when you guys are going out on a gig, and you guys are maybe out on a tour, I don't know if you guys are going on tours, but what is your like go-to place when you guys are traveling around, going to different venues and stuff like that? What is your go-to place?
Quick Trip.
Quick Trip.
The QT.
No, the
I love it. Are you guys okay? So, what are you guys getting out of the Quick Trip?
So Quick Trip is actually like in Wisconsin.
Caitlin
So like
loves Quick Trip.
Yeah, so the QT Quick Trip is the fake Quick Trip. Like we do not acknowledge that exists.
I didn't even
Here
know there was
we
a
have
fake one.
Quick Trip, which is KWIK Quick Trip,
Okay.
and it is like if there's an empty field, like a Quick Trip will like grow out of it, and just like it is the best
It's
gas
an oasis.
station.
It is,
Yes,
man.
it is. Melanie is totally right. It is an oasis of a gas station, and it's just got the best like food, like, gas station food. Like they pride themselves on just having like the best customer service, the best, like it's. And whenever you go there, it's like company policy. The people who work there, the cashiers and stuff, when you check out, when you leave, they have to say "see you next time." Like it is just wild.
Yeah.
It's the best place in the world.
I love it. That's cool. What are you guys eating there? When you guys go in there, what are you guys eating?
Oh, it's shameful. But there's like fried cheese curds, fried everything.
Yeah,
they've got a hot spot with like sandwiches and burgers and stuff like that.
Nice.
But like, so I'm normally going for like, if I can, depending on what time I'm visiting there, because if it's like 3 a.m., they might have them out. It's a 24-hour gas station too. Every location is 24 hours. And
I think we should actually rephrase. It's not just a gas station. It's like Wisconsin's version of a bodega.
Like a mini mart.
Yeah.
See, now you're all getting it. This is a bodega.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Comparison.
Yeah. So I'm normally going for like the waffle breakfast sandwiches.
Oh. Yes.
Chris.
See, but you asked like after gigs, most stuff is closed, but Quick Trip
is
open.
always
So when it's
there
late
for
at
you.
night, we're tired, we're ragged, you go to the Quick Trip.
Quick Trip has seen me at my absolute worst. And you know what? They're always there to pick me up.
There you go.
It used to be Taco Bell, and then Quick Trip came along.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, like Taco Bell isn't as reliable anymore because I feel like ever since the pandemic, like places that used to be like open late or 24 hours, like are not anymore. Like the McDonald's will randomly close at like 10 p.m. even though they say they're open till midnight or whatever. Like it's just there's nowhere as reliable as Quick Trip nowadays. So you just don't mess around. You just go to the Quick Trip.
So this is I just found out about this place. So you guys, Buc-ee's. That's a southern thing. My friend, I have a group that I work with out of Texas, and they say it's the same thing. It's like the mega mart and gas and everything that you possibly ever want, right?
It's quick. Yeah, Quick Trip is like a cult. It's very much a cult.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
We actually, like, Chris and I have a thing. We'll be watching like travel shows, and they're showing like panning out, and they're in the Sahara somewhere or the Amazon, and I always scream, "Where's the Quick Trip?" Like,
we can't go there. There's no Quick Trip.
Yeah, I don't see a Quick Trip anywhere. It's not civilized.
They don't tour there unless there's a Quick Trip.
Yeah. So, and another like a little Easter egg thing that they have is on all of the so they also want to like just be the place where you can like go to grab like quick groceries like milk and just a bunch of dairy and all sorts of stuff there. And they have their own like brand of like for distribution and stuff like that. So actually the owner, his name is Don Zietlow, and he's just like the most adorable man.
I know all this
because so his name is
He's
Don.
gonna write the book on Quick Trip.
And whenever he signs his name, he puts this little smiley face after it. And what they did is on their gallons of milk, that on the bottom of the gallons of milk, you can see they imprint the little smiley face into the bottom of all of their gallons of milk. The Don Zietlow smiley face is on all of their plastic. Like it is.
Wow.
I have a slight obsession. It's fine.
Like Melanie is super amazed.
I can honestly say I've never in my life bought milk.
It's like the history of the Quick Trip.
Yeah. It's a wonderful place.
Is it kind of like, have you ever been to Wall, South Dakota? There's that whole
Oh,
thing.
yes.
It's kind of not like
Less
quite
special.
as big.
Yeah.
More franchise.
Yes, it's way more franchise. So Quick Trips only exist in Wisconsin.
No, they have some in they branch out, but by different names.
Yeah,
in Iowa and Minnesota.
In Iowa, they're Quick Stars, and
same in Minnesota.
In Minnesota, I think on the Wisconsin-Minnesota border, they're still Quick Trips, and I think on the Minnesota-Iowa border, they're Quick Stars. So like it depends.
No, you get further into Minnesota though, because when you go out on 94 all the way, they turn into Quick Stars.
Oh, because I've only seen like Quick Trips in Minnesota, but there are probably, I wouldn't be surprised if there are Quick Stars as well.
I will say this: I don't believe that we have anything like that. I think we have a Flying J's or something like that.
I've been to it. So I also I'm big into road trips. Like I ride motorcycles, and I do a lot of like motorcycle trips. And I've seen lots of gas stations, and I've seen Flying J's, and like they're like 60% of a Quick Trip.
Oh man, I was thinking. I bet we have something similar in Arizona, and we don't even close.
To get into a fight over who has the best gas station.
I know we're gonna have to bet Mecca. It sounds like a Mecca. So
it is.
So Quick Trip is the Mecca of Wisconsin, folks.
I mean, you might be a little let down. I think I don't think so. I
think you would walk in and you would be like, "Wow, this is everything I thought it would be and more."
But
do they have a water slide?
No, we do have.
But I'm sure if you write a very nicely worded letter to Don Zietlow, he would consider it.
I will tell him.
Yeah, right.
There's this guy from Arizona that said this is only missing a water slide. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really not that different than like the 7-Eleven. It's pretty similar. So.
I think it's offended really bad.
It's like a giant 7-Eleven to be honest.
7-Elevens are horrible. Like it's like a Casey's. Like that's the big comparison too. It's like a Casey's or a Wawa for sure. Like I saw somebody drop a Wawa in the comments. Like a lot of people love Wawa or Sheetz too. Yeah, I'd say it's like Sheetz too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We could do a whole podcast on Caitlin just talking about that.
Apparently,
but all the time.
But the bugs
are they need to do a podcast.
She has a history of Quick Mart.
I love it though. I love it. And you know what? This is why we do this. We do the food thing. We love food. I was a hotel restaurant management major. I worked in the restaurant business for a few years, and then he's a professional chef. So of course we love food, and I'm a foodie. He's a foodie. So learning about gas station food is usually actually, at least it wasn't like hot dogs or something you guys are grabbing out of there. I mean, I was going to be sorely disappointed if this great mecca of a place and you guys are eating hot dogs out of there. But
I will be honest, I do frequent the corn dogs there. I eat a lot of corn dogs from Quick Trip.
There you go. See,
well, I mean, it's the context of the question. I think a lot of bands, you have late night gigs, gas stations are always open, so it's usually the goal.
That's where I'm going.
Yep.
Yeah. That's exactly why I asked that question. Because I'm always like, what is your go-to? And then everybody has exactly what Caitlin's talking about. Like their favorite, this is my thing. I do this. This is my gig food. If I don't go and get this is not tradition. And then some people, like, they have to do it. Like, that's part of their tradition. If they don't, they won't have a good show tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
People go to their Waffle House, right?
Right.
When you're in the Southeast, at least.
Yeah.
Or even the middle.
Do you know
like Oklahoma?
You are absolutely. We have Waffle Houses here, but they are not the same. They are not the same. Like in the South, people just greet you nicely. They're like, "Hey, how are you?" Like in Arizona, they stare at you for a while, and you're just like, "Are you gonna order sometime?" The South people are like, "I can't wait to serve you." I love that. That's the epitome of hospitality.
It kind of goes with the city as well. If it's cities like you've never heard of the city, it might not be like that safe. Like to go to a Waffle House. If it has to be a major city that has a Waffle House, I think if you go somewhere where you're like, what's that? Where city's that?
Yeah.
With my other band, we're a Perkins we're a Perkins band. Where after the shows, we're always going to Perkins.
Is that Perkins like a Denny's? Is that like the
Yeah.
same?
Yeah, it's like a
Chris
Denny's.
and I have done the same thing after shows too. It is, like
Yeah.
Denny's when they were open, like, was good. I don't know.
Yeah, we went to Denny's.
It's like I said, like since the pandemic, I feel like places are like closing earlier and stuff like that. So I feel
limited
Denny's
hours
hasn't been quite as late as it used to be.
Barry said that Ellie, the Waffle House is great when you're not wanting good stuff.
That's what I've heard. I heard like Waffle House to go for the experience, not for the food.
It's like drunk people food. This is how I looked at it. This is where I went when I drank too much alcohol, and we either ate at Denny's or Waffle House, one of those two places. They're always open, and you can usually get something that's going to settle your stomach a little bit.
Yes.
There was many Denny nights without the alcohol, but many Denny nights.
Yeah, for
in
sure.
The past.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm going to tell you this, that we are going to talk about what do you guys eat before you guys go on stage. Are you guys eating anything or drinking anything?
That's I think it really depends. Like it depends on if they're gonna feed me or not. Cause like when we played Appleton Beer Factory, they were like, go order whatever you want. I was like, say less. I went straight to the bar. I was like, y'all have great cheese curds. I want cheese curds. And and they're, so I think it depends. I've often, surprise, just gone to Quick Trip before a show too. And I'll just eat Quick Trip before a show if I have to.
What are you eating before a show? What are you eating? Are you like eating some greasy food? Are you eating some whatever? I mean, it sounds like cheese curds is kind of semi-greasy.
Yeah, generally my entire diet is greasy food. So it's, that's just what I kind of stick with. I need to draw from the influence of Chris going vegan and you, Andy, doing your diet, because I'm just like I eat like a 19-year-old college boy is
I love it. I love it though. I love it.
Like up until like I did a little bit of grocery shopping this past weekend, and like before that, there were about 30 White Claws and like some cheese in my fridge, and that's what I would live off of for like 2 weeks at a time. Like it's just...
I love it. That's awesome. Okay, so now we're transition into some of the music, and I'm gonna tell you that, and James, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start this off, because I know that I want to get your thoughts on the band and some of the music that you were hearing.
So it's definitely unique. I mean, I like it. It's really it's got like that dark depth to it, like the way the sound is, and then they got the voice from Melanie, and it all works out amazingly. So like the style, how did you guys come up with like how you wanted to have your style of music? Like where'd you kind of get some of your influences at? Maybe you kind of built some influences off of something, and other bands, or how did you guys come up with like your own style of playing? Because I mean, I think it's unique. From what people I've shared with, they kind of said the same thing. They like it, but it's like that uniqueness about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks for sharing that and pointing out. We do get that a lot, where people are like, it's like, oh, it's good, but what is it? And we ourselves aren't sure how to answer that half the time. But I just think it's an amalgamation of like our influences. So I mean, it started off with Chris and I just kind of with an acoustic guitar, coming up with stuff individually. We're songwriters and we write together. I think we both have a love for storytelling, and I have a love for myth and fantasy. And so I think in my songs, and I'm also pretty into different cultures and spiritualities, and so I think in my songs you hear that a lot. And Chris is very like, I don't know, would you say like introspective about life, and
more storyteller.
Yeah, so we've always liked kind of the idea of folk tales, folk genre, and I think that's why the name Age of Fable really fit with it. And so it's also a mix. I mean, we both have a common interest in like 90s grunge and alternative. That's kind of what we grew up on.
A lot of Nirvana.
Yeah, you know, a lot of Pearl Jam and Cranberries, especially the Cranberries for me. And then, of course, me growing up, you know, a young girl in the 90s, I love like Tori Amos and things like that, Alanis Morissette, you know. So these were like my Bibles, listening to it as a kid, you know. And then I had the classical experience. So I think it's just a mixing pot. It's like a stew. We put all that stuff in there, and this is what came out.
Yeah.
And then you add, you know, Caitlin's background. She's interested in a lot of different kind of music as well. And my brother's the drummer, and my brother and I grew up, and he had an influence along the whole process, you know, of that. Our dad, my brother's dad, and my dad, it's our dad.
We have the same dad, yes.
Right. Yeah, my family's really musical. My dad basically raised us on like classic rock too in the car. So I don't know if this is answering the question, but it's giving you some background on like what we've brought into the table. Yeah.
And a lot of it, she mentioned the folk side of it, and even when we were a two-piece band, we were a duo for years. It never really sat like well as a duo. It did, but it was kind of like we always needed more because we were not just folk.
Mm-hmm.
Back then we were like prog folk because we didn't realize that we had funky rhythms. We had different ways of doing things, like, you know, because your typical folk band is like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you don't go past the 5th fret. And my God, you're using anything more than like 4 chords. Oh, the world is ending. I know that sounds really bad and kind of arrogant, but you really look at a lot of folk music, and I don't know.
Yeah,
it's simplistic
prog,
to a degree.
You know,
to a degree.
To point to the prog, we're also huge fans of like Tool.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say, like, when I listened to The Return, I got like Tool vibes from the whole thing, especially like right in the middle where it kind of has like the little instrumental, the drums, the bass, and everything like that. It gave me that Tool vibe.
Yeah.
Good. That's
Pink Floyd.
One. Pink Floyd.
You know, things like that.
Porcupine Tree. That's been a big influence lately. Is Porcupine Tree.
I think for me, lyrically too, or melodically, because I have that classical music background, and I never really thought about it until people started pointing out kind of how the melodies flow differently. Yeah. And I think that's because, you know, I was trained, you know, I learned repertoire that, you know, the rules were different for that kind of singing, and the way those melody lines moved, it wasn't like your standard music we have today. So I think that has influenced me heavily in that way.
I think with the singing as well, because like we've had some good singers, but like we've never had that kind of a singing like talent. You know what I'm saying? Like where you're going at a high, you know what I'm saying? Almost like opera level kind of singing. Yeah. Where it, like I said, sounds melodic, and it's just really nice and balanced between everything with the sound of the instruments and the sound of the voice, kind of bring it all together when you guys create the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the sound has been evolving. So Chris and Melanie started this project, what, like 10 years ago?
2013, yeah, it's been 10 years. Wow.
Yeah, like 10. So they started.
I mean, we were teenager.
No, we were like early 20s.
Yeah, so they started it with like, you know, more of the folky, because it was just those two, and the sound has evolved. And when it continued to evolve for them, they sort of reached, you know, this point of like, well, we can't do what we want to do without adding more instruments. You know, like they kind of hit a wall of like how far they could take the sound without adding more instruments. So they had a couple of other, you know, like you guys had a violinist and a different drummer, and like you went through a couple of different musicians. And then,
but they both realized that we needed more and that they weren't the answer.
Right.
Yeah, our first drummer literally said, I think it was after we presented a song, he's like, well, you guys need a metal drummer, and I'm not that. He said, and we're like, oh. And at that point, we had never considered even anything close to that. We're like, what? And then sure enough, we ended up getting a metal drummer after that. Just by accident.
Yeah.
So,
well, by happenstance.
It's like the universe comes together.
There you go.
Yeah, and I just joined like what 3 years
3 years ago.
3 years ago, and I'm the first bassist the group has ever had.
Yeah.
And I'm basically here to bring the doom and gloom and just like all the low end in the world and just just always so. And it was wild. After I think it wasn't our first show together, but I think it was the first time your dad Melanie had seen us together.
Oh yeah.
He came up to me. I had no idea who this man was. I was like, he's probably I think you would point out like, oh, that's my dad. He came up to me and he like shook my hand. He's like, I've been telling them forever that they've needed a bassist, and it's about time. And I'm glad they finally listened to me because you're exactly what they need. And
we had a lot of people telling us we needed a bassist.
Yeah, it wasn't like we were trying not to have a bassist.
No, they're just really hard to find. They're a dime a dozen, or not a dime a dozen. They're like a penny a quarter.
And we were building brick by brick,
Yeah.
so it just kind of
So I think we're finally to the point now, like since this project's inception 10 years ago to now, I think we're finally at the point of like really having that sound, the goal sound developed, and it's actually like all falling into place.
Yeah, certainly getting there.
Yeah. I mean,
it's got a little bit more evolving to do, but once we find that groove, I think we're going to be kind of unstoppable in a way, because no, and I say that in a good way, because we've made modes of persuasion possible, and from modes of persuasion it showed us that we can do different rhythms, we can do different this, and we can actually play the music, and we can do it in such a way that still resonates with multiple types of crowds. I mean, we've had songs on the radio multiple times, both regionally, locally, and even internationally, and people seem to just enjoy it no matter where it goes to, which is pretty neat when you consider we have been told our entire musical lives it's just different. You're not gonna do anything with it. I remember being told originally, this is bad. Whatever. Like,
we were like the weird kids.
We were.
It's like, what are you doing? What is it? And it's like,
I mean, to put
doing
it
what we love.
to put it this way, my dad, love him to pieces, but he pulled me to the side one day, and he started playing Nickelback's Photograph. And he's like, Do you hear how that drum beat is? If you want to be a big rock star, you got to play like this. And I was like, oh my God, Dad, this is Nickelback.
I haven't heard that story. That's wild.
And so, like, when I discovered Porcupine Tree, I was like, oh, no, we don't need to, because they're really good. And Tool's the same way, in A Perfect Circle. Like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't need to be mainstream sounding to have a good sound.
Yeah, it is hard for people when you don't fit, when the square peg doesn't fit in the hole correctly or however it goes. People get frustrated. People want things that have been predefined, and fit into, and we've encountered that.
Numerous times.
I mean, but that's just how it goes, right? So.
Well, that's music. That's music, right?
Your cookie cutters, if you have your own. If everybody's going this way, you're going this way.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not thing, not everybody knows it, but they can learn about it and be like, I'll go back to this because it's interesting. I want to know more about it, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I can definitely say as a female singing in a rock genre, there's definitely people, they want to fit you into a box. Do you sing like Nightwish? Do you sing like Hailstorm? Do you sing they want to put you into a category right away, and they're like, you have to sound like one of these few women. It's still kind of new to have women singing in that genre like that, and when you don't fit exactly into a mold, there's cognitive dissonance, right? People are like, what's going on?
You get scared. I don't want to change what I'm listening to. I want to listen to what's on the radio or whatever.
Yeah. And I don't want to say our stuff isn't catchy, because it definitely is. But I think like my favorite part of what we do and how, and Chris and Melanie are pretty much the brains behind it. They are the creative ones. They do pretty much all the writing, and then they throw it at me and hope it sticks. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
It takes some convincing sometimes.
Yeah, some like
Well,
Chris
this is gonna be
will
great.
come with some weird time signature and some weird like key that he's playing it. I'm like, I don't get it, but you know, okay, we'll give it a try. But I think like my favorite part about how they write is the complexity of it. So I think we've started describing ourselves as more progressive because they're constantly playing with time signatures and key changes and I mean like Chris's lyrics are way different than Melanie's. Melanie is like she was saying, more of the storyteller, and you just have to pay attention.
Backwards.
Yeah. Like you have to like pay attention to like what we're doing, and things are always changing. And like one of my favorite things to do is when people are listening to stuff, I'm like, sit down and you have to listen to the lyrics of this. Like Red, for instance, I'm like, you know, really sit down and take in the lyrics of that song, because like the meaning behind it. And I was just blown away when Melanie like brought that song to us. You know, it's just, I was just like, that's wild. Like the themes behind that song are just absolutely wild. And I think it's one of the coolest songs that we have, basically for that reason. And I just like telling people like, hey, this is an important song. Listen to it. You know?
And I think that's been a big thing is since we released the album, Modes of Persuasion as a whole, and even the ones before, people were either they were like, this is amazing, we've never heard this ever before, or they were like, what is this shit? I have to listen to this?
I say that too. When Chris brings stuff to me, I'm like, what is this? And why are you asking me to play this? Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, legitimately. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's okay because we end up sounding really good, and it's fun, and it's attractive, and like, okay, I'll say this. One of our songs has three different rhythms going on, from the bass to the guitar to the drums. And I don't even know what the voice is doing. So there's probably 3 rhythms, all in total, different time signatures and everything. And I sent this to my local DJ, and I'm like, okay, this is the song. It's like 5.5 minutes. I know that's not radio friendly, but it's between this or this. That's all you're getting for singles, because I'm not giving you the rest of the album. And he's like, oh my God, I love this one. And it was the long one with 3 different time signatures.
I think it was The Return, the one you're talking about.
No, it was Firefighters.
Oh,
Firefighters?
Yeah. And then so I was talking to him recently, and he's like, man, that is my favorite song. On the entire album, that's my favorite song. And I'm like, that's huge. And that song came together in about 5 minutes.
Did it really?
So that's very cool. And so that was my take on your music. So it had some of the indie elements, 20th century music, some jazz in there. I can definitely see some influence from the 90s bands, as well as you guys definitely have, and especially, the singing. Classical singing. My mom's a professional singer as well. She was a chorus teacher for 30-40 years. So I picked up immediately on the professional training that you've had, some of the especially the classical training. So it sounds, to a lot of people, it sounds very operatic, musicals, because it's classically trained. You're not going to strain your vocals. You're going to definitely hit the key, hit the notes that you want. I enjoy the fact that you guys are playing with sound and playing with the music to make it different. And I think that actually is really creative, and how it's working and blending together is really unique. I've never actually ever heard a band as unique, which is awesome. There is, like what you guys are saying, cookie cutter bands that are, Nickelback, Creed, whatever out there. You guys are not that. So if you're going for that, if you guys are going to hear them, they are not that. They are unique, but very musically talented. And that's the one thing that I will say about the guitars are straight on. I was listening to a little of the bass and the drums. I really like, my mom comes from that classically trained background, so I just totally love where you're hitting your, some of the way that your intonation is working with your vocals. I'm a guitar player, so I really was like, I wonder what he's playing. Sounds a little. I was trying to pick out Fender with, I was trying to figure out your amp for a while.
Okay. You want to know what it is?
Yeah, let's get your rig.
I recorded the whole thing, other than one overdub, on a 10-inch PV2 amp.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
And I used, I have a Firebird,
really?
which
Cool.
I had on the neck pickup the whole time. And I'm like an analog player, so all my pedals are on the floor.
Analog.
I don't have any of this
Nice.
digital setup stuff. That's too complex for what I'm going for. So everything was on the floor, and if I screwed up, I had to restart because I couldn't. And that's how I am at practice in general, unfortunately. But yeah, everything was done through this little 10-inch PV2 amp.
I
And
love
then I
it.
ended up getting this Vox AC32, and the thing is like 70 pounds, and I'm like, oh my god, this is heavy.
I feel you. And is that what you're playing for on gigs? Is your Vox?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for
that
sure.
thing is
You're
huge.
be able to project.
I used to bring
So big.
the little PV because I'm of the mind that I don't like to go direct into the board. I like to have the mic so that I get some room noise if there's any room noise.
Mhm.
It just gives more authentic feel to me.
Just miking up the amp. Yeah.
I think pretty much like most guitar players mic their amps. Like that's a pretty standard
Yeah.
thing.
But there's a
You'll
lot
see more bass
it's
players do
interesting,
the
though.
DI.
It's
That's
interesting
what-
because a lot of people in the metal movement, though, they don't do that. They go opposite. They go direct in because they don't want to have to deal with all the other crap that's involved. And they have one tone, distortion, and that's it.
Right,
No.
and that's the other thing
do
that's really
that.
great about your guitar playing is that you're able to kit up some of that diversity, and that's what I
Yeah.
love about good guitarists is they know when to put the overdrive in, when to put the
Yeah.
distortion in, when to maybe put a loop in, whatever. I love that stuff. And then also bass. We're gonna hit that. We love the bass. We love the bassist. We always love them. What are you playing? What are you playing? What's your rig?
So I pretty much do everything with my Rickenbacker 4001. Yeah. And then I run it through an Ampeg Portaflex 500 head. But I've got like the 410 cab that I play with it. So
She's got some boom. She's got some
I do.
She's
Yeah.
got some boom. Yeah.
I
It's all
used
about
to.
that bass. All about that
Yeah.
bass.
No. Who invited you?
Megan Schramer.
But I used to have the Ampeg, the Fridge, the 810, and
Oh,
then I
wow.
was like, then I had to start I was putting that thing putting it in and taking it out of my CRV by myself, and I just got over that, so I went and traded it for a 410, and
It sounds still good. I'm sure
First time
still.
I saw her bring that to practice, I was like, "What the fuck is this? We're not practicing that loud."
you are
I
now.
don't think you know that it's got to go to 11, guys. It's got to go to 11.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love
I think
it.
with Russ's question that I'm seeing, I think that was referring to me how Melanie and Chris are primarily the writers, and then they bring it to me where I have to then figure it out. I mean, at this point, we've been friends and bandmates for 3 years now, and and I know how they are, and I know what they're going for.
I still bring
Essentially,
surprises.
I kind of just like have to figure it out. They just kind of throw me in the deep end, and sometimes Chris will have like, he'll have an idea. He's like, oh, here's what I envision the bass doing. But generally, they give me the creative freedom to come up with what I want to, and then I run it by them. They say if they like it or not, and then we just kind of go from there. But it's the important part is understanding like the themes and the goals of the music in the band. And I think I've got a pretty strong understanding of what we're trying to achieve. So that really helps me, determine what I'm going to do and understand what they're bringing to the table. Yeah. I complain a lot sometimes because it definitely challenges me. That's why I tend to get ornery when they bring new stuff, because it's a challenge. It's always like Chris is just coming up with new crazy things, and I'm like, man, this is hard. Like, can I just join a cover band where everybody like songs and like
the wrong band then, Caitlin.
Yeah, it's challenging, but then eventually I come around to it. We come up with something super cool, and they'll help me along too. So
yeah, the Nickelback cover band.
You know what?
Creed, we need more Creed.
Creed.
Well, and my brother who plays drums, she kind of is in the middle of the storm, because my brother will jump in and come up with like, he just goes crazy, and usually it's like a 3 against 4 or something, and so there she is like, oh, and so it's like a hurricane around her, and it's like, figure it out, Caitlin.
Yeah, and like what's interesting like about the history of the group is like Melanie and Chris have been partners for 20 years now, and Dan is Melanie's brother. So like they have known each other for like 17, 18, 19, 20 years. And so they have all like grown up together essentially. And here I am just in like this Riley sandwich of just, and that's part of like the figuring it out as well, is because they have a different relationship, and I'm a little bit of the outsider looking in, and it is super entertaining and funny to like watch them interact, because they've known each other forever. So yeah, that's
yeah, it's funny when we kind of get into spats, and it's just like, and then like 10 minutes later we're totally fine.
Yeah.
No, not that we get into spats often, but like I don't drum speak hardly at all, but like Dan gets what I'm going for, and I appreciate that. And like, I don't know, I think maybe I'm wrong that he gets it, but the rest of them seem to understand. And like, even like when Melanie's like trying to tell me do this instead, like in a song, I'll be like, no, I can't do this because it doesn't follow this, and then she'll like do her vocal thing, and I'll be like, okay, fine, you were right, I was wrong. And,
happens a
lot.
What fun though! What fun! It sounds like a really fun creative time. It
is, yeah. It is. We have a lot of fun, and that's the cool part of it. Is it's a bummer that Dan couldn't be here tonight with him being stuck at work, but man, he adds this whole element as well of just like hilarity to the process. Like that guy is just funny.
I've seen the videos that you guys put on, or he has like the crazy voice, and
most of the time he gets so mad at me. I have so many videos of my phone of just like catching him in the act of doing something ridiculous, and then I'm just like
you thought he was wearing like a choke shirt or something like that, and then you choke scream or just scream. So.
Or we'll do like really, one time at practice, probably like 2 or 3 months ago, when Dan got these new cases for his drums, and like he went to the bathroom, and we're like, man, that case is huge. I bet it could fit one of us in it. And then like Chris like hid inside his drum case, in his bass drum case, and we like covered him up, and we're like, oh, be quiet, and like Dan comes out of the bathroom and he just flips the lid off of the case, and Chris tries to scare him, and Dan is like, I heard you guys talking, like like I knew you were in there.
I knew it already. That's
we mess with him a lot. That's the fun part. It's so fun messing with him.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, he's the best.
But that's what that's the great thing about doing music and being part of a band is all of that camaraderie together and being able to create something. And it sounds like you guys are the epitome of creating unique, interesting things. And I love that. That's creative and that's really passionate. That's showing each one of you guys has your own take on things. You guys are coming to the source and delivering something different, but it all gels together, which is really awesome. I love that. That's the epitome of what musicians are about. It's not about, and it's definitely, if you want to go and do top 40 music, go somewhere else now. There's people that are made for that, but I love musicians that are not trying to do that. They're unique. They're trying to do their own thing. I mean, me and James have had my dad on. He's a composer and he makes unique stuff. He's an improviser. He'll improvise stuff on and he's always been like that, just very unique, different music. And I love the fact that you guys are doing this and you guys are coming it from different angles. So I love it. It's good stuff.
Your
So
parents sound cool.
Yeah, right.
I do have cool parents. My mom was on our show. She was a chorus teacher for 40 years and is a jazz singer. Definitely professionally trained, so I could pick up the classic and some of your keys and some of the jazz stuff and some of the musical stuff that you have going behind your scenes for your vocals. Absolutely love it. And then she's also a guitarist, so that's what got me into guitar, really. And I first started off in bass because my dad said, "Hey, Andy, before you start really playing, why don't you just play this bass for a while?" And then I got guitar. So, but I love it. It's so fun. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to throw in a little bit of fun. We're going to do a giveaway, folks. And they have show off the shirt, James, show off the shirt really quick.
I'm going to stand up for this.
It's our model.
Yeah. He's our model for this shirt. So as always, we're trying to throw out our Uber fans, whoever our Uber fans are, which we don't have a ton right now. We actually, our Uber fans are on right at this moment.
Are you sure they're Uber fans?
Are they Uber drivers?
Yeah.
They could be Uber drivers, but they're
fans of the platform Uber.
They are. That's it.
Like Uber.
But did you see the cool shirts? We are giving away an Age of Fable shirt. So you contact me, or you can go on IG, Tasty Licks Music, or you can contact me. I will be doing the giveaway this time. And I am letting the band actually do a question. So
are we gonna do it?
Yeah, do what you guys want to. We will see what question, and it may, like I said, we have an alternative question. We only have a few people on rate at this moment, but we do want you guys to so pick a really good question. I'm sure that one of these folks will get it. So
I
shirt.
did come up.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
We got a Caitlin question.
Okay, Caitlin's got it.
Okay. How do you spell Quick Trip?
Oh no!
No.
The correct spelling.
The correct, not the fake.
Not.
And if you get it wrong, you have to answer our question.
There you go. Yes.
How do you spell Quick Trip?
Counter question.
It's counter question.
We can't see the chat, so
we're waiting. We're waiting for
one
of you guys. Yeah, we're waiting for those folks to.
Wait, cue Jeopardy.
Well, on Sunday I was sitting there playing my guitar, trying to be melodic in the background, but I think it was tripping up James there for a bit. He's like, "No more, Andy."
I was trying to concentrate because there's so much going on.
Where's this noise coming from?
And I'm just playing guitar in the background, trying to be like the chill guy.
Crazy going with this.
Okay, anybody? Okay,
no?
We're gonna go.
They might be searching.
Are you? I know you guys are searching. You guys are like, "Hey, what was the name of that thing again? How did they say they spelt it?"
Yeah.
It wasn't like it wasn't QT. It wasn't QT.
No, it was not QT.
So for those people that
Ellie said QUIK, and that's not right.
No.
I know what it is, but that's not it. That's the fake one.
That is
That is
All right, you now you have to answer this question because you got it wrong.
Because you got it wrong.
Okay,
He
so
just
we got a
wants to ask the
second.
counter question.
We got it. We
He
got a
wants to
counter
ask-
question. We got a counter question, Ellie.
We do.
So
Do we?
Okay.
What is
are
the
we
counter
gonna ask-
question?
She said she was trying to
Okay.
give people a chance. That's why she answered it like that. So
Well,
Give peace a chance.
Well, we'll go with the counter. We'll go with the counter question.
I don't
too.
know. I don't know. If you don't know your Wisconsin history, you're not going to know the answer.
there's Google's.
Yeah, there
Okay.
is the Googles.
You can Google
Google's-
All right,
Google
you can,
this.
You can
Google
Google
it.
it. What is the name of the serial killer who stayed at the hotel next to the rave
I don't even
in
know
Milwaukee.
in Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
Yeah, so the Rave is a big music venue in Wisconsin, specifically in Milwaukee. And there's a hotel across the street where a very
Prolific
famous serial killer stayed at and performed some of his most horrendous crimes.
And I'll just give you a hint. If you Google serial killer
Oh, you're telling them what
Milwaukee,
to do.
that.
the rave,
Really? Okay. Yeah.
You might get
Wow.
it.
I'm dumb.
you said it, not us.
Wow,
Yeah.
there.
I'm googling it. I'm googling
I'm
it
just
right
like
now.
learning there's so many serial killers from Wisconsin.
There's
Yeah, we have a lot here.
Maybe that's why
Well-
our music's so dark. No.
And additionally, maybe that's why people are putting like cheese on apple pies.
Yeah, right.
They're
all
thinking
scared-
different.
It's not right here. Something's wrong.
There's
the vortex
something wrong.
or something. I don't know.
I eat
There's something
cheese.
wrong.
I eat milk with my cheese and my beer.
You guys are in Arizona. I bet you got those vortexes supposedly
Yeah.
in Sedona or whatever. That's where all the
We
hippies go.
Do indeed, and I have been there. And I will be honest with you, I am really into the spiritual game, so I do go to. There's a place called Buddha Beach, which is near Cathedral Rock, which is where the vortex is. And you do feel like this. I meditate there all the time,
Are you
and
writing this down?
What am I writing with?
totally. It's actually Half Crescent Moon Park. So you go down there. There's a place called Buddha Beach, and they have a bunch of cairns that people have stacked up. And so, but I always go there and I just meditate and just am like caught up in that whole vibe of just very
Hey,
quiet.
Ellie got it right.
Ellie said Dahmer.
Yeah.
Hey, good
It
job.
was Dahmer.
You get yourself. So Ellie, just hit me up and I will get you a t-shirt from Age of Fable. Thank you guys so much. That was awesome. That was fun. And we really dig the shirts, of course, and the music. So merch is always cool. And I was told a little story behind the if you guys go and look at the artwork and some of the stuff for their albums and some of their logos, I was told that somebody in this is a photographer. And there he is right there. So tell me about where the location for your last album was. I think that there's one that I'm looking at right now that has looks like a ocean or a lake or something.
Yeah, so
Oh.
so that's the Cave Point one.
That's Cave Point. That's in Door County.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So it's
Yeah.
on Lake Michigan,
Yeah.
and I think it's talk about good vibes and energy. Lake Michigan, especially Cave Point. Yeah, it's these giant cliffs.
They're like 100
jutting
feet
out
tall in some
over
places.
over Lake Michigan, which is like a giant lake. It's not even a lake, it looks like a sea, right?
They used to call it the Great Sea, the
Right.
natives, because they didn't realize that you could actually go across it 60 miles and reach Michigan.
You'd
Well,
die
what's
them.
now known as Michigan.
Yeah, but the waves there get crazy and
Yeah.
they just crash on these
Yeah.
shores. And I mean, years ago there were sometimes tourists, but it wasn't that crazy. Well, I think with social media and stuff, people started posting pictures. Now you have like people from all over the world that go
Yeah.
there, and it's quite a scene. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really cool.
Actually,
Yeah.
someone just jumped in and
Mhm.
broke a leg.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw
that's
that.
interesting.
Yeah, don't jump in there.
Whatever you do, don't jump into what is it called? Cave Point?
Cave Point, yeah,
Yeah.
into
Sounds
Lake
amazing.
Michigan. Lake Michigan is freezing all
Yeah.
year round,
Yeah,
so
it-
even in the summer it's like 40 degrees.
It never gets above 56. You're
Mhm.
lucky if it hits 60 degrees.
Mm.
So, quick little side story. The first time I ever walked in the ocean, I was prepared for like 55 degrees. And I walked in the ocean and I went, it's warm. And I thought the ocean like peed itself because I'm like, this is not right now.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're
You're
saying.
used to Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it's freezing. Because I've been told, and this is from friends that had like island cabins during the summer on Lake Michigan. They would go in and they would be blue coming out of Lake Michigan.
Oh yeah.
You just get numb and then it's fun.
Yeah.
You just gotta get through that point and then you're good.
Yeah, let me tell you, this boy goes to San Diego, and I'm doing it in a week and a half for my 15th anniversary. And this boy goes into nice beach weather. I can't imagine, like, if it's dippy, I'm like, hey, it's a little cold, but also do biggie. I do understand like going in when it's a little chilly, but
well, okay. So how cold is the water there?
Oh, probably in his 50s, 60s. Yeah.
So it's about the same.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not. I boogie board all day. So then once you're like out on the waves, you're just like, you don't even think. It's like what you're saying. You get a little chilly when you first get in, and then you're out on those waves and you're throwing
forget about it.
Yeah, for sure. Do you
it's
guys
nice
get
though when we go out, you can like if my knees are hurting, we'll just go out to the lake. I'll put my
cryotherapy.
It's natural free cryotherapy.
Have you ever seen that dude that jumps in like ice water? There's this guy from Norway that
he's in Sheboygan. He's the Iceman.
Oh,
yeah.
He goes surfing during winter. Yeah, and he gets all the ice chunks on his face.
So that guy, and then there's the spiritual guy who I know that's what you were talking about.
Wim Hof?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been tested by science. The man's crazy. He
goes into like a spiritual trance to get into this, like he's meditating and he lowers his heart rate and everything to go get into this, and he's teaching other people how to do it. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then he does like hyperventilation techniques, like he'll be like go crazy in the water, all naked in the water.
But he said that it's like a spiritual experience. It's like he says it's like an awakening. Now I've seen a lot of Tony Robbins that he'll do that his ice bath right before he goes into, like, every day he does like an ice bath for the same reason. It like invigorates you, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not that spiritual, apparently.
No, okay, so like the whole thing about ice baths is it's great. I get it, but legitimately, just go to Lake Michigan and you don't need an ice bath.
You just jump in.
I mean, like, people have told me, I take cold showers every day. I feel great. I'm like, I go to Lake Michigan and I do it 3 times a year, and I get in water that freezes me, and I'm done.
Or just wait a few months and winter will hit.
Right.
Winter is coming. Yeah.
I don't know what winter is. I don't know what that is.
Have you ever seen snow?
I certainly have. So my dad was military, so we lived in the Midwest.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so I've lived in really cold, but it's been 20 years since I've had to really be involved in cold. I don't. So like our cold here is like, that's what I was told. So my daughter was living in Michigan for a bit, and she said that it was a lot milder than when I was a kid in the Midwest. I remember going outside and it being like, the bus stop was across the street. I would take a shower in the morning, and I would literally wait for the bus. I could see it like at the end of the street. I would walk out to the bus stop, and in that process of just walking across the street, my hair would freeze.
Yep.
Oh yes, that's about right. Yeah. There was one time it hit negative 48 here. That was the only time it ever hit negative 48.
That's cold.
But like there was a few years ago, there was the month of January, it never got above 0. Ever. Yes, and the average temperature was like,
and you're probably wondering, why do we live here? And I couldn't answer that. When that time of year comes around, I question it every year. Like,
so here's why the serial killers are there, is because they're questioning the same thing. They're like, hey, I'm gonna kill everybody. That's what's happening here. I'm just gonna
cold, man.
It just gets dark and cold and
apparently gloomy and serial killery. Yeah. I will tell you this, that the milk is really good from there. Cheese curds, of course, unless you've had real cheese curds from Wisconsin. One of my really good friends, Ken, is moving it back to Wisconsin. His wife's family is all from Wisconsin, so he's really excited. He's a big Green Bay Packer fan.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not going to say go Pack, but I'm a Cardinal fan, so
You just said it, so
yeah. I'm out now. Everybody's going to be like, "Oh, we're going to come through the screen right now."
You should check out the latest video from the Packers. I think it's on their social media. And Aaron Rodgers looks like the Con Air guy, Nicolas Cage.
Oh, does he?
yeah, Aaron Rodgers looks like Nicolas Cage. Yeah, a bunch
Either
of people are
that
saying
or he looked like Scott Stapp. One of the two.
That's awesome. Okay, guys, we are going to wrap it up. I have to go hit the gym. So,
I guess you're on Mountain Time right now, aren't you?
I am. It is 7:17.
I'll say like another quick question, really. I know there's one more.
Go ahead.
Somebody asked another question about when you guys what kind of venue would say what venue would you guys dream venue that you would like to play in? You know what I'm saying? Like when you're
dream venue.
Like a dream venue that you would like to play in.
Red Rocks.
We've heard
that too. We've heard
That's
Red Rock.
so crazy.
Yeah, we've heard Red Rock before too.
Dream big, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
that would be
Red
cool.
Rocks is beautiful.
Or I always wanted to play at Madison Square Garden. Or if I really want to hit it big time, the O2 Arena in London.
Oh, there you go.
But we need at least 100,000 fans, and we've only got 100. So
Maybe on the side of a mountain in Iceland somewhere.
oh yeah,
That'd be
cool.
awesome.
That would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Hopefully not when a volcano's going off, but yes.
no,
Yeah,
exactly when a
true.
volcano's going
I
on.
don't know.
Yeah, come on.
Why
Yeah,
else
the
would
whole-
you do it?
Volcano shoot on the side. They'll be in the front of the stage playing. That would be awesome.
That's epic. That's epic.
Yeah,
As
that's
I was
what
told,
band is.
epic. That's the epic moment. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap things up. But we do want to hear. Is there any new tunes that are coming out so folks can be looking forward to a new album, a couple new singles? What are you guys doing?
No, because the band told me no more recording. We spent too much money.
We just released the album.
No,
so-
we're
focusing on shows. But if you go out to the band
Where are you guys
campus
playing?
of Spotify,
Yeah, we just released the album, so now we're booking gigs and stuff to
Nice.
play
Okay.
to play the stuff that we just recorded.
Perfect. So that's where you guys can go out. And the name of the album is
Modes of Persuasion.
Modes of Persuasion. Very
Which I
nice.
thought that was really cool how you guys went with that. I was actually, when I found out when we thought we were gonna have you on, I was doing the whole research on the whole the ethos, pathos, and the logos, and the Aristotle's method of persuasion, and each kind of meeting towards each one.
And modes being another. That's another thing that I picked up. You guys are playing with different modes. Very good.
Mhm.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
You guys do play with different modes, so yep, I was thinking that.
Wow.
Great stuff. So go check them out. Go check them out. And where is a venue that we can see you guys at?
So next we are trying
The
to
Lyric
set
Room.
the Lyric Room. Yeah.
In Green Bay.
Oh yeah, we're playing with some other cool bands.
Some
I forgot
female-fronted rock bands. I don't have their names.
something Mime and we don't have the names, but they're pretty cool. If you check out the Lyric Room in Green Bay on their site, there's some cool bands we'll be playing with.
Very
That's
awesome.
one of our favorite local venues to be at is the Lyric Room. They're great for local bands.
Oh,
Yeah.
good to hear. Good to hear. And Green Bay being an awesome little town. So very cool. James, any last words? Any last thoughts?
No, yeah, it's always been a pleasure to get bands that nobody's really ever heard of. That's why we do this, and get everybody listening to bands that are not out there. You know what I'm saying? That nobody might not know about. And I mean, there's people in the chat that didn't know anything about you that are now looking you guys up on Spotify and gonna tell the workers about them. So I mean, I've tried to pass them on a couple times, pass to a couple people as well, and share on Instagram and stuff as well. So, but yeah, we're truly thankful to have you guys on, and we definitely will share some of your stuff I'm saying when we
And
see
thanks
you.
for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Totally.
And
totally.
thanks for doing the
Pleasure.
reschedule. That really, all
Yeah.
things considered, of course, but
Yeah, totally
having
happy
us
to have you
on.
guys. Oh, no problem. We will have you guys on again at some point, I'm sure, after you guys have made another album. Hit us up. We'll be able to book you guys
I
again.
like the way you think. Tell them more albums.
After you guys gig for a while, I get the tour thing too. I get
Get the gigging.
thing.
Yeah,
Get out there.
we got a gig.
Get a gigging, and then after you
We
guys are
have
done
two.
gigging, yeah. So you guys, we're excited for you guys. Go check them out, folks. They're actually really a good, refreshing band. And now that you know a little bit more about them, you can actually pick up on some of the really cool stuff that they're doing. So go check them out. Lyric Room coming up. So go check them out if you're in the local area. Again, with us, we have more probably COC coming up. So Carnival of Chaos coming up. And we are looking forward to some of those bands. And man, we have just such a good lineup coming up. So a lot of really good interviews coming up. And again, what do we got to say, James?
Stay tasty. Stay tasty.
Stay tasty.
Stay tasty.
At the KWIK trip.
KWIK.
KWIK
I think Ellie knew
trip.
it. I think Ellie knew it. She was giving somebody else a shot.
That's right. But she got the T-shirt anyway.
Whoever wants another shirt, hit us up on Instagram. We will figure out details.
Right on. Very cool, guys. Very cool. We appreciate that.
And we have CDs.
And they have CDs.
Grab a CD.
Limited edition CDs.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, right on, guys. Right on.
We have candles too.
And candles.
And candles.
And candles.
CDs and shirts. Get them.
Get them. They have merch. Let's go get them. Go check them out. Musically, great band. Yes, buy merch. Go rep it. I mean, we got the bearded metal chef repping their shirts.
Yeah, right. Things of theirs you will buy. Buy them.
Yes. Buy them. Stay tasty, guys. We have a good night.
Yeah. Peace. Bye.